Hey family, so I am back. This is part two of my story about being on Badoo, the dating site. So I know I was talking to you about the guy that I had met, and I mentioned the fact that he was married at one time. They had twins that they weren't really sure whether it was his or the other guy that the wife was sleeping with. And they did eventually get a divorce and everything. They've been divorced now for a year. That's at least what he told me. I think it was a year, year and a half when he met. Now that I'm thinking about it, okay, so when I met him at the Grove in LA, and the Grove is like a farmer's market slash outside how do I say, how outside those stores, different stores like Nordstrom, See's Chocolate, little restaurants, Cheesecake Factories there, Sephora is there, different places like that. It's really a nice place that people like to go and hang out. So anyway, one of the first things I noticed when we were walking around, this is I think before we ate anything, he had a ring on his arm, and I noticed it looked like a wedding ring. So I asked him about the ring, and he kind of got defensive, but not in a rude way or mean way. It's like he knew it would come up and he would have to explain it. So he was telling me that he had got it online. It's not a wedding ring. He had got it a couple years ago, and it was a sterling silver ring and what have you. But it looked like a wedding ring, and it looked like it was on his wedding hand, but he was saying it was on the other hand. I think the wedding is, I'm not sure whether it's supposed to be the left or the right, but he was saying no, it was the wrong hand and it wasn't his wedding ring. His wedding ring was a black ring. But I was thinking, I let it go, but I was still thinking in back of my mind, this man could very well, even though all these things happened, he may still be married to this woman. They're just not together. Now I'm thinking maybe he was married still all along, and they just still not getting along. So he goes and, he works two jobs. So he's most of the time away from home. And then probably when she works, he's just getting up from sleep, and so they're not there with each other. Because at first on the website he said that he had roommates. When I talked to him, he said he did move back with his mother to make sure that he saves up so he can get a really proper nice apartment. And I know that's a possibility too. And I didn't have a problem with him moving back with his mother to get on his feet, because that happens all the time. A lot of people do that. But now I'm thinking maybe he was still with the wife, living with her. They're just not together. That's type of thing. I know a lot of people that do that, and occasionally, somebody sneak back into somebody's room. But the way he was telling me about the story about him and her, he was saying it like as if she chose the other guy over him. And it looked like she really wanted the other guy to be the kid's child. He did show me a picture of her. He was calling her light skin. I would call her more light brown. I thought she looked okay. She was attractive. I didn't think she was as cute as I think he thought she was, which is fine. Everybody has their preference and everything, and that was his wife. And I'm sure he and her too, they thought it was going to be forever. So anyway, we walked around and we talked a little bit. And when we got to, oh, I know what part I wanted to mention to you. When we were talking on the phone, he mentioned this woman twice that was older than him, because I was older than him as well. And he said he liked the relationship. She had two kids. And because he didn't have any kids, I don't think she really wanted to take him too serious, because she felt like I kind of felt too, like, look, you don't have kids. I can't give you kids anymore, and I don't want any more kids. I want kids, but that's because I don't have any. She had it, didn't want any more. He was telling me that she had a really good job and everything. And every time, they'd go out, she would pay. He said he would take his money out to pay, but she would insist on paying or what have you, and didn't want him to pay. And that was fine. He told me this once, and then he said it to me again. And then I decided that I probably need to address it. And I told him what I expected. I said, I don't mind treating you or doing stuff, but I believe in the old-fashioned way of a man paying. If you have a problem with that, I understand. But I'm the type of person, I like to deal with things head on. If I don't like certain things or you don't like certain things, tell me, and we see if we could work it out. If not, then that's okay. That means, excuse me, something's in my eye. That means that we are probably not meant for each other, and that's okay, right? Wouldn't you think so? Okay. So anyway, we talked and everything. So when we got there, he had told me earlier, by the time we met up, it was 3. We were supposed to meet at 1. Oh, and that's another thing. When we were supposed to meet, I don't have a car. He does. He has transportation. So I told him that I had went because I wanted to get my nails done and everything, but I didn't get that done. I was able to get my eyelashes done. And so while I was talking to him, when we were supposed to meet, he was out, he said, doing an errand for his mother. Now that I think about it, could it have been his wife he was doing the errand for? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But anyway, he said he was doing an errand for his mother, and we were supposed to meet like in 3-5 minutes tops. And I was calling him to actually ask him for, more time. So I was cool with that. When I finally was calling him, at one point I couldn't get him. After I finished my thing, he was telling me, oh, he's on his way now. And, that means I would have been sitting there the whole time. He thought I was actually there. I said, okay, no problem. When I was getting close there, because I took Lyft, he had called me and said, oh, I'm almost there now. Where are you? I said, well, I'm getting there too. He said, oh, you're not there. You were surprised I wasn't there. No, why would I be there or be rushing if I live in LA and he lives in Burbank? So if you live anywhere in California, that's a 2-hour drive. And with traffic, it might be more. So anyway, we're talking. Okay. So anyway, he was like, oh, okay. So where we are supposed to meet, I was standing there, and then I said to myself, well, let me go use the bathroom, because I had to use the bathroom. And then I decided to go ahead and get some treats for myself, because I hadn't heard from him. So he had called and he said, oh, I'm here. Where are you? I said, oh, I went to the bathroom. I said, okay, I'm going to walk. I'm going to come right away. And when I walked there, he wasn't nowhere to be found. I was looking around, and it was one guy that he didn't really look like him, but he looked like he was looking for somebody to him. And he was passing. I said, no, that couldn't be him. So I stood there, and then he walked across from where they have the waterfall. And I'm like thinking, why didn't you just stand here and wait? So I think he was kind of unhappy the fact that when I came, I didn't stand there, and then he thought I would be waiting that long time, and he knows I didn't have a car. So that kind of played in my head like, you have no respect for my time. But we were good. When we met, we talked. He was nice. He does look like his picture. He told me he was 5'11". I'm 5'5". And so when I looked, he was maybe this bit taller than me. And I was like, I did mention it to him. I was like, not that height bothers me. It doesn't bother me. I'm okay with a man my height, maybe a little shorter or taller. That's fine. So when I looked, he was like, I was like, but you're my height and I'm 5'5". Oh, well, I don't know. When I go to the doctor, that's what they tell me. So I don't know. No, you know you 5'5". You just didn't want to tell that. So, but, that was here or there, because that's not a problem for me. So anyway, we went on and we did eat at the Brazilian place. He did pay for my my plate, and he paid for his. All he got was 3 little short chicken wings or drumsticks, but the little ones. And then he got 3 lettuce. And I'm like, He was like, oh, I ate, yeah, earlier I had some cereal for breakfast, and then I drank just water in the day and stuff like that. And I'm like, is that all you eating? And he was like, yes. And I kind of felt a little uncomfortable because, we were coming out to, explore the place and eat something. So, but I didn't say anything. I did go ahead and give him some of the food on my plate. I had lamb and I also had a little bit of pork, and I gave it to him. And he did eat it and everything. And we had a pleasant conversation and everything. And it was towards the end, things kind of got a little bit weird because we got lost when he was taking me back. And I don't know, it was just the vibe was funny. I guess he didn't really think that he was going to take me back, and probably didn't know how to tell me, no, I'm not going to take you back. And, it's just all that stuff. And then, I don't know, we just stopped talking. And I didn't say anything. I did thank him for the ride. He didn't drop me at home. He dropped me by one of the other malls close to me, which I would have preferred him to drop me closer to home. But, that was neither here or there. And I didn't really say anything. He didn't say anything. I just said bye and I left. And he had messaged me later on. I read the message, but I didn't see the message before like maybe a week and a half passed. And I decided to say hi to him on the site because he was on the site. And as soon as I said hi, he was like, hello, how are you doing? And then he was talking to me and saying how it was just weird towards the end, which it was weird towards the end. I think I just got a little frustrated because we got lost. He got frustrated. We didn't argue or fuss or fight with each other. But the whole thing at first didn't play in my mind till after I think a week or two, it started playing my mind and stuff. And though I thought he was a nice person, I realized I wasn't really attracted to him. Just because you're a nice person and you guys get along doesn't mean you guys need to be together. And I just didn't feel it. I think he felt it more than I did, because I think he was trying to talk back to me, but he didn't know how to get his footing. And I'm glad I didn't really give him an opening or a way to, really try to talk back to me and see if we could go out, because up to that point we had a great time and we were talking about, meeting up again. But I just don't want to date somebody because they feel comfortable. I want to date somebody because we have fire between us, And I just didn't feel that with him. And I've seen him on the side other times. I just haven't reached out and said anything. And he hasn't reached out and said anything to me and stuff. So he was the only person that I met. And then it's some other people that, I thought about meeting. But I think I'm more cautious now and stuff. And I do ask about, are you married? And I do want to see, it's one guy talking to me now. And I noticed he has 51 pictures. 51 pictures. Most people have the average of 4 to 5.